Relax your jaw. This is where it gets all caught up. Release your jaw. Drop your tongue from the roof of the mouth. So your tongue is constantly attached up there. Release it, drop it down. Take a sip of water. A long breath. Exhale. And for somebody who followed all through the steps, how are you feeling? At the very end of today's conversation, you're going to know the relevance of what we did right now, the exercise that we did right now. It's a part of mindfulness exercises. And what that means, why did we do this? All those questions are going to come very, very soon. Okay. But first, before we move into what is digital detox, let's first understand your digital indulgence. How much of screen do you use? So now, from now on, you're going to see some questions, and all we are going to appreciate is just a lot of honesty. Okay. So we'll just be very, very honest, very candid, and we'll respond to the best of our abilities. Okay. And just like now, keep talking in the chat box. I have it open, so I'm going to read from there. Okay. What is the longest you've gone without checking your phone? Let's be real. Let's be honest. Without checking your phone. Okay. Not like actively using, just checking. What is the longest you've gone? 5 minutes? Okay. That's long enough. 30 to 45 minutes. We have some tough competition. 10 minutes max. Half an hour. Not bad. So we have something ranging between 5 minutes to 45 minutes. Anybody falls out of that, maybe a day, 2 days, over the night sleep. That's so smart. Half a day. Okay. All right. 15 to 20 minutes. These are all also very reflective questions. Okay. So take a look at how long can I go without my phone? And very important, what was happening during then? Okay. So important to mention that I was sleeping, so I did not check, or I was on Christmas break, so I did not check. 4 or 5 hours when you switched it off. Okay. So what was also happening when you were not checking your phone? Okay. Also very important information. On a scale of, I can quit anytime, to my phone is almost like my fifth limb. Where do you fall? Are you closer to, I can quit anytime. If I don't want to, I'll not check my phone for a week, to it's almost like it's become an attached organ? Which side are you closer to? The first or the second? I know that's very long to type in, so we'll just go with one or two. I can quit anytime. That's where you are for 2 to 3 days max. That's a long enough time. The two, you're closer to that, right? Do you think that COVID and all of that has gotten us closer to the second option? We have a few more questions. Yeah, that's also great reflection, right? How did we get so addicted? How did we almost start feeling like phone is our fifth limb? What events? Maybe it was COVID. Could be like that common scenario, but also try to think if it was something personal for you. If your phone could talk, what would it complain most about regarding your usage habits? Now that's a longer question, okay? So if your phone could talk, what would it want to complain about? Now give me a break. You're constantly on my back. Take a nap, sleep. Maybe let me charge fully. Please hesitate. Okay, interesting. Leave me alone. Yeah, I know. So many of our phones, no? Yeah, interesting to see how, if the tables are turned, what would really be happening. Talks about so much about how we use our phones and our gadgets. Recently, have you gone to phone without checking your phone or woken up without saying a good morning to your device? Like that's not the first thing you picked up. Try to think like last month or so. Very few yeses. So many of us are on the no, either before sleeping or just after waking up, is when we definitely check our phones. Oh, D&D, does that help? Phones also offer so much, right? They offer so much of ways, so many ways that you can detox, you can take a break. All right, so that's a little about how we use our screens. Let's take a little deeper understanding of how you use your screens. Okay. And this is not just your phone screens, but we talk about all gadgets that have screens and we tend to use them. Okay. How many of us scroll reels late into the night? You can do a raised hands here or chat box. Let's keep talking. Or binge watch something after, when things have become very quiet, everybody's sleeping, it's dark outside. That's when you like to binge watch. Catch up on a movie or catch up on a series. Maybe like IPL highlights. Or are you one of those who uses the phone or the TV to put you to sleep? Like you turn it on, it will keep playing and you can go off to bed. Any of us who use phone like that, phone or TV or gadgets in general like that? And do you believe it works? Do you think, like, if I'm scrolling in the night, if I'm watching something when it's quiet, or if I really go to sleep, like TV can put me to sleep? Do you think it works? Brother uses phone to sleep. So many people use phone to sleep. Okay, now like a tough question, okay? How many of you know what is blue light? Like not when the light turns blue. Okay, that's not what I'm asking about. Not when the light is of blue color. But do you know what is blue light? Yes, blue light comes from your screen. So it is all of the material that is used to generate this artificial light. The combination of them, they also emit something called blue light. Yeah. Blue light is in your tube lights, it's in headlights, anything that is used to create artificial light emits a certain amount of blue light. Okay. Now, tube lights also have it. However, compared to digital, so not that tube light and turning on, have you ever experienced that the white light in the evening feels really harsh to the eyes? That's because that's also like white lights emit more blue light than yellow or more ambient lights. More than that, white lights emit more blue light. Okay. Now screens and digital gadgets, they emit even more blue light. Okay. So whether it is your laptop or whether it is your phone screens or whether it is your tabs, these are all emitting, or your TVs also, they're all emitting blue light. So what's the big deal with blue light? Is it good or is it bad? Keeps you awake. Yes, bad. So blue light is naturally emitted in the day. The sun rays also emit blue light. Now, why is that blue light important? And why does it keep you awake? Is because blue light is read by a part of your brain which produces melatonin. What is melatonin? Melatonin is a hormone that makes you feel sleepy. Now, when it receives this blue light emission, what happens is it starts to think that, oh, I don't need, it suppresses your melatonin. Because it suppresses melatonin, you don't feel sleepy. So now what has happened? Your body is tired, your mind is tired because you have worked all day, yeah? But your brain somehow is getting the message that you can't sleep right now. It's still daytime, yeah? Why? Because as human beings, almost all of us are diurnal. Diurnal means we stay awake in the day and we sleep at night. Opposite of nocturnal. Now, what happens when it's night and your evolution, your body is trying to tell you, I'm tired, I'm trying to sleep, but your brain tells you, no, no, it's light outside. You have to stay awake. What is pain in eyes? It is bad. So, what do you think happens when your brain keeps telling you, no, no, melatonin cannot be produced right now because it is still daytime? Yeah. That means that you're going to not be able to sleep. So for all of the times when you think that I'm just not able to sleep, there are two reasons that are happening. Okay, one, either you have 10,000 thoughts in your head. How many of us fall in that category? That I can't sleep because I can't stop thinking. Yeah. Or the second is you have been exposed too much to all of this blue light, to all of this artificial light. Okay. For most of us right now, it is a combination of both of these factors. We have 10,000 thoughts running and we have exposed ourselves too much to the gadget all through the day. Okay. Let's do an experiment to find out how all of this, in addition to your sleep, what else is it doing to your body? That's about sleep, right? So why is it suggested that try to use ambient lighting in your house, in especially in your bedrooms? Along with that, try to reduce the brightness of your screens, brightness of your digital gadgets, and as far as possible, take a break from gadgets at least 1 hour before bed so that sleep comes more naturally. Yeah. Anybody here who takes melatonin supplements? They're now available readily over the counter, though I highly, highly recommend that if you want to start any supplement, please consult your doctors. If you've not seen melatonin supplements, your local chemist will have them, but consult a doctor before you decide to start them. If anybody's here on it, maybe you can sort of just raise your hand. Yeah. All of this, like taking a break from blue light, will allow sleep to come more naturally. Okay. Now we'll do some exercises. Want you to pick up an object that's close to you. These are all like, interesting, fun exercises. So I want you to pick up an object that's close to you. This is my water bottle. You can pick up whatever is close to you. I had a glass of water. That. Now hold it in your hand. If you want, you can hold it with both hands. And just look at it closely. Observe everything that you can on this glass. The minutest of things. Okay, any marks, any lines, anything carved, anything written, anything that you can see, watch it closely. You can turn it around if you want. Look at it up and down. Look inside if possible. But observe every fine line on this object that's in front of you. Look at it as closely with as much attention as possible. My glass shows my reflection. So if that's happening to you, look at your reflection. Turn it around. Now keep this back down and look at an object far away from you on the opposite wall. Maybe a person, maybe an object. Observe that. Observe the lines on it, the shape, the colors, all of it. Let's come back. You can look at the screens now. Since we are doing digital detox, if you want to turn down the brightness of your screen, this is the point when you can do it. Now, compared to looking at this object that's close to you, that you were holding in your hand and really trying to focus, and looking at that one object that was far away, which one was easier? Which one was easy on the eyes? Any thoughts? Anybody who joined me on the exercise? If you couldn't join right now, that's completely okay. The one that's far away, like Aishwarya is saying, most of you will experience a similar phenomena, especially if you were looking at the object close to you with a lot of like attention, focus, trying to see everything. Yeah, it depends on age, of course, and it depends on what kind of lens you're wearing. Okay. But yes, so if with normal eyesight, what you're going to discover is the object that's far away, one, there's a lot to focus on. Yeah. So the area increases, the strain on your eyes reduces. And for this to happen on an everyday, so how often current studies show us that it is easily that people stare hours and hours at their screen. I'm not just talking about phone screens, but look at our laptops, right? We work all day on screens. And oftentimes when we are doing focused work, you will be half inside the laptop. Yeah. Or half inside your phone when you're reading something very interesting, watching something very interesting. It is easy to reverse the effect of this. What do we need to remember? The 20-20-20 rule. Okay, the easiest that we need to remember is the 20-20-20 rule. What is the 20-20-20 rule? Every 20 minutes, look at something that is 20 feet away from you for 20 seconds. Okay, 20-20-20, 20 minutes, 20 feet, 20 seconds. Okay, that's going to also help your eyes too. That's more like an eye exercise and helps to reduce the strain on your eyes. Okay, do you think that's possible to do? The exercises that we do and the solutions that we suggest all are going to be easy to do, easy to follow. So if anything feels like, oh, this is too much, please tell us so we can edit. And since all of you are joining in together, feel free to remind a team member. Feel free to remind somebody who's sitting next to you. Just be like, hey, you need to like take a break, you know. Now let's try another exercise. Are you ready for another exercise? You'll actually need your phones for this. So the next one. And we'll need a little bit of acting. I hope all of you can act like a little bit. So you're going to hold your phone the way you hold it in your hands, whatever is comfortable. Some of us hold with both hands. Some of us hold with one hand. However, you are most comfortable holding your phone. Okay. Now you have to pretend that you're reading something very important on your phone. Okay. Like the most important email or the most important article, or you're watching that very important point in a movie, in a series, or a cricket match, or any match sport that you're watching. You're watching that very crucial point. Stay in the character, stay focused. You're still reading, you're still watching, you're paying close attention to the details on the screen. Now, while you're in this posture, try to breathe slow and deep. And gently bring your eyes up. Did any of you notice that your neck sort of moves forward the moment we try to read something very important or we try to focus? Our necks move forward, our shoulders pull up. Remember the first exercise we did where we tried to pull our shoulders down? The moment you focus and the smaller your object of focus becomes, the more scrunched up you start to become. Yeah. So as beneficial as all of these gadgets are that are getting smaller, that are getting palm sized, that are getting easy to carry around, the more they also scrunch you up. And if you did notice, you would have noticed that it's very difficult. Like, I don't know how many of you could actually breathe in deeply while being in that position, because I could not. Could any of you breathe deeply, slowly, while reading something very important? I surely could not, because to breathe in deeply, you need to be relaxed. Your shoulders need to be open. Yeah, your neck needs to be open. And because that is not happening, you cannot really breathe in deeply. What does that do? Lesser relaxation. This phenomena where the neck comes forward, and if you have kids, if you have teenagers around you, if you have adolescents around you, watch their necks. Yeah, we all have something called the tech neck, where our necks have started to come forward. Okay, they're like protruding from our heads and they're coming forward. But what does that do? We're watching something, we're reading something, and it's always pushed forward. That's called there's an interesting term to call it is technique. And this causes a lot of strain on your cervical spine, often leading to upper back and musculoskeletal problems here. And you'll see a lot of stiffness in your shoulders, especially shoulders and neck region. That is because of constantly maintaining this duck-like position forward, okay? And it can also cause a lot of headaches, and breathing inefficiently is one of the things, right? So you cannot breathe fully, constantly. So if you have to be aware of how long am I in this position? Yeah. How long am I sitting and how long do I take a break? Sometimes put your laptop away and take a break, sit back, relax, look at your laptop screen, but still sort of lay back in your seats. And that's going to open you up more. Remind yourself the moment you come out of technique, remind yourself to breathe. Okay, because you'll have to refill your breath that was lost. The inefficient breathing that we did while focused, you'll have to refill for that. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for joining me on these exercises. We have a few more, but they'll come up very soon. And I hope that these were sort of helpful in figuring out what are the smaller things in which our gadgets are actually interfering with our physiological health. How they could be one of those reasons why we are not breathing well or why I'm yawning so much. You know what yawning is? Oxygen insufficiency also. I mean, yes, because you're lazy or because you're feeling sleepy, but it also happens if you've been shallow breathing, like short breathing for a very long time. Your body needs more oxygen, so it yawns and pulls in as much oxygen as possible. Okay, so oxygen insufficiency can also cause a lot of yawning. So all of these reasons, how all of these small things that are happening, how they could be linked to our gadget usage. Yeah, I hope all of these are serving to be reflective for you to start looking at your habits inwards. Okay. How many of us, after like a very long day of very focused tasks, like you were on the tasks all day, you were either on calls or you were reading things or you were correcting, reviewing, whatever, like you were neck deep into it. After that, you probably just want to shut all sound, all lights around you. Like on most end of weeks, it is literally my dream to lie in a quiet, dark room. Like do nothing. Is anybody with me? Like you just don't want anything. No sound, no light, no stimulation, just a closed door and a dark room. If you have not tried it, I see only two people who are saying yes to this. So if you have not tried it, you should definitely give this, like, give yourself 15 minutes of lying in a dark room, just lying down, no gadgets, nothing, and you will see the difference. Yeah, you will see how much it sort of just restores your entire energy levels. You feel recharged without the need for a coffee. Okay, so you're going to see that if you haven't tried it, and Friday is closing in. So if you want to try it tomorrow, give it a shot, see how much it relaxes you. And the key reason for this is all of the strain that we are causing it. Longer digital hours can also cause a lot of eye irritation, something that we must have encountered, right? I'm going to come back to what position we should be maintaining. Okay, and we'll try that, all of us. But longer hours on your digital gadgets will also cause irritation for the eyes, sometimes also for skin. I don't know if any of you have experienced. These are rare occurrences, but they also tend to happen because devices get hot. We live in a hot country. It's summer. Your mouse pad, you sweat. Your mouse pad is not the most comfortable, or your keyboards are neither. So all of this combination is not great for the skin. Yeah. So a lot of times you will also experience skin irritation. Eyes, a lot of us experience dry eyes, etc. All that happens due to longer hours on the screen. Okay, we are going to take a moment, all of us, to quickly sit. If you're not yet sitting in this position, you're going to take a quick moment to sit in this position, upright. Adjust your monitor screens. Your legs, feet flat on the ground. And don't put all your weight on the front of your seat. Let the backrest support your back. I hope that all of you are in this position. I will try to maintain this for the rest of the session. If it gets uncomfortable, please input that in the chat box. Okay. This shouldn't, but since we are not very used to it, sometimes it can become a little annoying. So let me know if it gets annoying. Okay. And while you're in this position, we are going to do one more exercise/experiment. You're going to hold your phone in your hand. Okay. Have your phone in your hand. It's not a phone related task, so you don't have to be engaged on the phone, but you can keep it in your hands. And we are going to count backwards from 100 by 3. What does that mean? 100, 97, 94. What comes after that? 91. So we're going to count backwards from 100 to 0 with a gap of 3. Okay. When I say start is when we start. You have to count it in your mind. If many of you are sitting together, you can do it together also. Start. 100. As while you're counting, take a look at your phone and tell me what's the battery level. Take a quick look at your battery level. Go back to counting. So counting, scroll down to look at the notifications. How many do you have? Go back to counting. Continue counting. Scroll down your screen and reduce the brightness to 0. Go back to counting. All right, you can pause and quickly tell me what number did you reach. 1. You reached 1 all the way? 19. While doing all of these, did you also do battery level check, notifications check? Okay. Was it annoying that I was asking you to do all of this while you were counting? Oh, it wasn't, Melroy? Okay, fantastic. Was for us, the first time I had done this exercises, I did not just get annoyed, I actually got legit angry because you have to count, and counting is, one, it's backward counting. Second, you have to subtract. Third, you have to do all of these weird acts in between. Um, have you ever noticed that when you're doing something and probably a notification pops up, you look at the notification, and when you come back to the task, you've actually forgotten your train of thought. Like you don't know where exactly you were. If that's happened with you, you can do a quick raised hands or tell me in comments. Yeah, it has, no? Yeah. Yeah. Like I, I was deep in that thought, something popped up, I've just lost my train of thought. Okay. Because there are notifications, because there is constantly these, chirps going around or something that keeps calling you. It could be a reel, it could be something that, is like bored, do this. All of that, all of the screens that we constantly use, whether they call out to us or we tend to go to them, these screens are constantly splitting our attention. And it affects our memory, it affects our focus, it increases stress hormones like cortisol. Okay. And no matter how much we say, you cannot pay attention. Like your brain is not designed to pay attention to two things. Okay. Some people tell me that we listen to music and we are working, but you can't be doing both of it. Either you're listening to the lyrics or you're working. And if you're working, the music is just playing in the background. Okay. Like if you remember 90s, 80s and 90s when TV started coming into homes, a lot of homemakers, especially homemakers who were usually wives or mothers, they would do a lot of their afternoon chores and activities with the TV running in the background. The TV would be running and they would be doing their work here. Okay. So it's not, you can't pay complete attention to both. And because screens keep doing this, they're ruining your attention span and they're lowering your focus levels. It's just one of the things that screens do, but there is actually more. Why do you think reels are so much more fun? Do you know that people, if any of you are there, you can also raise your hands. Again, candid conversations. Do you know people actually spend hours on reels? And reels are what, 90 seconds long. One reel is 90-second long, but you can spend hours on reels. There are instances of people postponing sleep because they were scrolling through reels in bed. And these are all not shocking statistics, right? Because we see people around us doing it. We may have done it also. And the world that we live in, it's really not a sin anymore. But why do we, like a 90-second reel, how does it end up taking 1 hour of your time or 2 hours of your time? What's the magic? What are reels really doing? Or when you're bored, when you have like 10 minutes before the next meeting, you can't really start like the next task, you have to wait. You just go to your reels or your YouTube shorts and you're watching, you're scrolling. They're for quick laughs. Yeah. Or they quickly generate some emotion. Either they're short and engaging. Yeah. So they're quickly generating emotions, quickly generating a laugh or quickly generating frustration. Or some reels make you go like, really what? Frustrate you a little bit, but it's quick emotional ups. Okay. If you look at reels, they're very simplified. They're not discussing any complex scientific neuroscience related phenomena in that 90-second reel. They're very simple. They're a quick commentary on something. Very few are complex, right? If you have noticed that we have gone from these long form video content, maybe something that we watched on YouTube before, like a 20-minute, 60-minute video content, to we have now gone to reels. Why is that? Because all of us need to feel things. And most of us, does anybody want to feel unhappy, unhealthy things? No, all of us want to feel happy things. And when it comes so quickly, it becomes addictive. Because of something that one of you has already shared, it gives you a quick dopamine hit. What is dopamine hit? Dopamine is the reward hormone in your brain, which tells you that I did this last time and it worked. It made me happy. It made me have fun. It made me forget my stress in the moment. And because of that, every time you're feeling like this, your brain is reminded that go just do that easy. Phones are accessible, reels are accessible, endless reels. So all of this accessibility, plus you're not spending money, right? Every time if people started telling you after 10 reels, you have to pay 1,000 rupees, you wouldn't be doing it. Right? You would finish your 1,000, you would finish your 100 and then not watch anymore for that day at least. Yeah. Very few would pay. So all of this, because there's ease of access, all of this is right at your fingertips, no cost, no effort. It becomes even more like the dopamine hits become even more easy to get. But what does that end up doing? What will happen if you're constantly getting dopamine hits and very, very easily? What do you think ends up happening? Any guesses? One, of course, you will be stressed and tired because so much overstimulation, right? The second is the actual, regular, natural things that are supposed to make you happy, that are supposed to give you a little reward, but they are long, but they are tedious, but they need patience. You'll start to feel very bored doing that. Okay. So if somebody told you that, you know what, instead of watching reels, why don't you go for a walk in nature? Would you be able to pick that up? Why are you watching these reels? Go for a walk. It will make you feel really nice. Our expectations begin to change because we don't want to wait so long to feel good. And all of these changes are very gradual. They're very slow. They slowly start seeping in and becoming your habits. Okay. And which is why it's important to be aware, to know, to be able to start turning it backwards. For everything, because right now screens solve all our purpose. If you're getting bored, screens help. If you're feeling stressed, screens help. If you're feeling exhausted, also screens help. So this constant dopamine that is being released with constant distraction, what does it do? You're bored, don't think about boredom, watch something. If you're stressed, don't think about your stress, do this. So it's constantly distracting you. It leads to mood instability and a compulsive search for the next thing that will give you a high. Next thing that will be interesting, next thing that will be exciting. This constant distraction is also restricts us. It also restricts us from using our old and very proven coping mechanisms like walk in nature or going for exercise or go play football with your friends or talk to your friends or talk to, your mentors, your guides. All of that feels like, okay, give me 10 minutes. I'll watch something and then I'll do it. What does this do? This continues this cycle of dissociation. You're constantly dissociated from your experiences, from your social engagements, and it therefore makes it difficult to maintain good habits. Because what do we rely on good habits for? To maintain those good habits, what do we need? We think we need motivation. Now, motivation is going down because motivation, like, this is a tough job. Watching screens and just relaxing is so much more easier. But I put in so much effort. That makes maintaining good habits, building good habits, healthy habits, that much more difficult. So if you are looking at how do I stop this overwhelm, how do I do this? This is the conversation, and we are going to go right into what we can do to, really start a detox process. Because these are smaller, very, very baby steps that all of these are taking into making us move away from our, or creating that dissociation, creating the distance between us and the world around us, okay, and the habits that will really help you. So to find out what we can do about it, let's be realistic and tell me, can you take back technology? Can you now say that, okay, I'm going to like take a break from my phone and never ever use it again? Let's be real, no? We don't have to be. We live in the digital world. Maybe you can take a break for a week, 2 weeks, but you can't really not be on technology or using technology. But what we can do are two things. One, we can become more intentional with our usage. When am I using it? Why am I using it? Is this the only way? Are there no other better ways? That is being intentional. And the second is setting boundaries. Okay, how do we set boundaries? We'll come to that. But before that, let's create your package, your little self-care package that takes you away from your phone. Okay, so we're going to start from the top left, move right, and then down. Okay, so let's figure out, this will be a different package for all of us, but I'm going to invite all of you to input in the chat box. So all of us have a ton of things that we can pick up from each other and also add to our own packages. Two tech-free activities that help me relax and unwind. What are two things that are gadget-free that help you relax and unwind? For me, it is walks and oh, some form of art or craft. Yeah, okay. Somebody who also likes to craft. Nice. Playing any sport, walks, lovely. Keep inputting because that's how. So a lot of times, especially when you tell kids, right? If you tell them, but put your phone down, and then you're like, but what do I do? You know? So if you have kids, if you have people around you, this is a great family exercise also to do with your spouse, to do with other people in your family. It's just let's try to figure out what do we do without gadgets. Okay. A lot of times we go on vacations also and we are constantly checking our phones. Next, we'll come to this one on your right, top right. Two offline social activities that bring joy. Offline social activities that bring you joy. So many people who like walking. Nice. Family gatherings. Uno. Oh, Uno is such a lovely game. There's another game called, if you've not played yet, it's a board game called Sequence, which if you love like light-hearted family sort of board games, definitely add it to your list. It's a fun board game and you never get tired of it. Family gatherings. Okay. Like how many of you still like have late night hangout with friends? Sitting with friends for a drink, like Friday parties, okay. Yeah. So if you are like still off that, if you still have friends around you who love to like after work, etc., just sit and hang out. There's nothing like it. Just chit chat, you know. We'll go to the next one. Great job inputting so many responses on this. Office tea breaks. Yes. Two people that help me keep my phone aside. Two people with whom you don't need your phone at all. Hmm. Parents, what about others? By the way, these two people you have to go and tell, okay, that you bring so much life into my life that I don't need anything else. Okay, so when you meet them, when you talk to them, please tell them how much they're contributing to your life. Now, the last one is a little tough, but let's try to think. Two movements that relax you after a long day in front of the screen. A walk, lovely. For me, it's also a good stretch, like a very full body stretch. Anybody who does yoga or any sort of relaxing in a dark room, you're on my team, Rajesh, if you already do it. I've been subscribing that to everyone that I meet recently. Okay, a good stretch, a walk, relaxing, walking, lovely. For any of you who go, so Manas, I was just going to say that if any of you go straight to sleep after a long day at work, my highest recommendations that try to stretch your muscles out. We sit in these, like we've been discussing all day today, we sit in these crunched up positions all day long. So it's very important to take a little break. Yeah. Allow your muscles to unwind and then sort of go to sleep. Okay. Lovely. And while these are your quick package deals about, what I need something right now, what can I do? Use these. The longer solution, however, is to be more mindful. Now, what does mindful mean? There are two kinds of mindful. There's mindful and there is mindful. Which one are we right now? We are in mostly the full category, right? We are constantly in the full category. And this mindful, being mindful, like the second picture, is usually what makes us want to reach out to quick escapes. Yeah. The key is to develop. So mindfulness, the one on the left, is more of an attitude, is more of a attitude that is built through practices. But it is that intention setting that allows you to become more mindful. Okay, let me ask you a simple example. How many of you eat food and even after eating, you're like, if I ask you after 2 hours, what did you eat? You'll have to take a moment to think, what did I eat? Or even when you eat properly or full appetite, you'll still feel a little hungry. Or you'd really not register the taste on the food. This is just one example of how we are actually doing something else in our head, but doing another activity physiologically. Like physically, you're eating, but your mind is elsewhere. You're watching something, talking to somebody, something else is going on. And the food takes second priority. And that's why we end up being mindful because there are so many sensations that went in. There's so many processes that your body starts following, but you were not aware. Building that daily awareness is what is mindfulness. Okay? So in a world where we have these smartphones are practically glued to our hands all the time, digital detox through mindfulness is not just a let's do it when we have the time sort of situation, but rather something we need to inculcate, especially because they have become such a regular part of our everyday. Yeah, most of us did say through COVID, it's become an everyday part, but whatever is the reason, it's become a part. So this is where mindfulness comes in. Okay. Mindfulness is just starting with the question of, do I need to? Whether it's the next cat video or whether it is wanting to see what Priya has had for lunch today, or I mean, Priya being an internet personality, okay? Or it's about taking that little time to remember that I need to take a break. I need to be more aware of what I'm doing. I need to be aware that this is my nth reel and I need to take a pause now. Okay, it is about knowing that it's 1 in the night. I need to take a break and sleep. Building that awareness is what is mindfulness. It is about becoming more aware of yourself, of your surroundings, of the people around you, and especially your actions. Right? So, and to build that practice, also because we have been doing so many exercises today, we'll also be wrapping up our conversation with an interesting exercise. Okay? That you can play without gadgets. We'll be doing it here. And you can easily do it with your colleagues, with your friends, with your on your next family gathering. This is something that you can do. If your kids are coming to you saying, can you give me your phone? I'm so bored. This is one of the exercises you can do with them. Okay. It's fun. It sounds like a game, but it also is becoming more mindful. Okay, let's try that. So we'll choose a color. So the color we'll choose for now, that I'll choose for all of us, is brown. Okay, brown like the chocolate or any shade of brown. Now look around you and name all brown objects. All objects that have brown color that are around you right now. I have a cupboard or table. These are all big objects. You can start with the big ones. Wallet, comb, door, cupboard. Yes, handbag, shoes. Are these all the ones that you can see? There's an umbrella. How come? Not why is your umbrella brown? Why is your umbrella out in summer is, I think, my bigger question. Or is it like a sun umbrella? I have a bottle, a book. Okay. My headphones are also like they've got a little brown in them. Look around you, even for the smallest of the objects, smallest of the things that are brown, that have some shade of brown, light shade, dark shade. Look a little brown, anything you can input here. I chose brown because brown is something that's easy to find usually in our homes and offices. When you do it with your family, with your kids, you can make it tougher, you know. You can have them choose colors or objects or shapes that are tough to find, that are difficult to find. Okay, making it that much more fun also. The more you up the challenge level, the more it gets fun to do it. Okay. Now, just how did you see how easy it was to look for all of these things intentionally? And I can guarantee for the ones who did the exercise, who actually joined me on this, you will notice that you were not thinking about other things in this moment. No? You were completely focused on finding all of the brown things. Oh, I also have Oreo on my desk. So Oreo is also brown. So you cannot be thinking about something else while thinking about this brown, while doing this exercise. And that is how easily we can switch from the right to the left and become more mindful. It is all about focusing on doing one thing at a time, something that we currently struggle to do. Yeah. So the easiest thing to become mindful that you need to remember is, how can I do just one thing? If I'm looking at for brown, I'll only look for brown. And this is a practice that we build for ourselves. But if you have family, friends around you, if you see, I see a lot of elderly people also becoming very addicted to gadgets now. So if they are around you, they are your people to do this exercise with. Okay? And that's how we take a little digital detox breaks, folks, to take a little breather from all of the gadgets that we are constantly exposed to. I hope these exercises, these reflections, the questions that I asked you today, the exercises we did together, the activities that I have suggested, all of them go a long way in rebuilding the relationship we have with gadgets. How we relate to gadgets. Do we treat them like a definite member of the family, or do we look at them as a come and go sort of guest?